Hello and welcome to Wellywood Wargaming. My name is Damon, and in this video I'll be taking a look at some of the new Necromunda releases that are about to come alongside the Hive Secundus box set. Now, I have done a previous video on Hive Secundus, so go check that out if you don't know what I'm talking about, but we've got a couple of articles to get through here, and the one that I'm most excited about, and I'm sure the rest of the Necromunda community is very, very excited about, is the prospect of new terrain. I say new terrain, kind of old terrain, but you'll see what I mean when we get into it. Before I get started though, please do like, share, subscribe, check out the Patreon as well to keep me supported in this endeavor. So the title from the 10th of June on the Warhammer community website is Enter the Underhells with even grimier new terrain for Necromunda. So what we've got here is an article on all of the new terrain that, by the way, doesn't come in the Hive Secundus box set. Hive Secundus, by the looks of it, is very much 2D. Zone Mortalis or whatever it's called. This is Sector Mechanicus, I believe, which is the 3D sort of variant of Necromunda. And definitely something that you can add to your existing Necromunda terrain to make it pop even more. Way more detail, really, really grungy and grimdark, and just really, really bloody cool looking. So I'll just read a little bit of the blurb here. Hive Secundus was once the jewel of Necromunda, a centre of learning and enlightenment. It is its inhabitants living lives of comfort in comparison to the drudgery of the rest of the Hive cities. But nothing good can last on Necromunda, and Secundus was outdone by the hubris of its scholars, or at least one scholar in particular. So once the Malstrain Genestealer cult had thoroughly embedded itself into all echelons of society, the Imperial House was forced to take drastic measures, gravity bombing the Hive into itself to form a gaping chasm of twisted metal and dead cultists. Really cool lore on Hive Secundus, I have to say. It's really, really awesome. Everything that I've seen on Hive Secundus so far is quite exciting. I really do like the direction that we're going in with Necromunda post Aranthian Succession. I do say it's very good. We've got some awesome, glorious pictures here of some setups. The first one, we've got a little Genestealer cultist scummer from the new box set in amongst some of the new painted terrain here. And we saw a little bit of a hint in the last article on Hive Secundus. We saw some of this in the background, and many of us weren't sure whether this was actually going to be new terrain or it was just something that someone had melted with a lighter or you know, highly kit bashed and converted. It turns out it is actually a full new set of terrain, and it looks awesome. I cannot wait to get my hands on this. The actual sort of set below it, or what looks to be on one of the sprues or in the box that you get for this terrain set, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns and 4 walls with two types of doors. You've got wider door and smaller door, and then you've got some sort of pipe walls, so like walls with no outsides, the kind of internals of walls, along with sort of rafters and bits of flotsam, jetsam and stuff as well. But the main aesthetic of all of these really is just incredibly decrepit and crumbled and broken. I love the way that the columns are, you know, collapsing in on themselves at the top there. And just the level of detail on these is even better than the original Sector Mechanicus terrain that we've got. Crumbling walls and, you know, broken looking doors here as well. I particularly like, of course, we have got some platforms, by the way, and they're all sort of broken and messed up. They look like sort of very much reminiscent of aliens with sort of acid holes burnt in them and stuff. Very, very cool. But what I really like about this set is that sort of rafter thing that goes across the top of the top of some of the walls that you can walk along. Very cool sort of iron girder there. But just a really nice looking set. Of course, very much the same in the way that you would construct it as your previous sort of sets, but just a different aesthetic to go alongside it. It'll be nice to create some sort of set pieces with this. So I'm definitely going to get it myself and add it to my existing terrain, maybe paint it up slightly differently as well. I just think it's going to be a nice addition to it. A little bit more blurb here. Well, that was the plan because Hive Secundus was pulverized, leveled and compacted. The Genestealer infestation survived, albeit twisted by the esoteric energies that destroyed its home. Parts of the Hive survived too, but not in a factory fresh condition, which means for your upcoming games in the ruins of Secundus, the current Zone Mortalis terrain just won't cut it with its clean lines and largely intact apparatus. To create the full atmosphere, you're going to need the new Ruined Zone Mortalis. So it is officially named Ruined Zone Mortalis. We've got some more pictures here of the sort of pipes and inner workings of the walls. Really, really love the detail here. That iron girder, again, a close-up here, as well as one of the doors sort of kicked in and one of the collapsed columns there as well. It all looks amazing. I have to say, though, one thought is, you know, with miniatures climbing all over the top of these things, they're not looking very stable for miniatures to be able to perch on. So there is a little bit of that going on in terms of how difficult it's going to be to get, especially big based models like Ogryns and stuff. Perching on some of these edges might be quite tricky, but I'm yet to see how that's going to work. Fantastic looking stuff though, and that is the first sort of set that we've got here. The next one though, if you're looking further down the actual article here, we've got some other stuff here as well. We've got the data stack clusters, which look awesome as well. It's hard to really make out what it is exactly, but these are 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 sort of like data units with a sort of central core. Really cool looking piece of terrain, but I have no idea what it actually does or what it's supposed to do. I'm assuming that we'll find out a bit more on this, but you get 2 of these stacks in a box, and between these and the Ruined Zone Mortalis, you'll be able to make an incredibly satisfying 3D board to fight over as your band of foolhardy looters goes ever deeper in search of precious repositories of lost data. So that's all we've got in this article. So 2 terrain sets. One is the data stack stuff. Apparently you get 2 of those. Pretty cool. And then we've got the actual, Sector Mechanicus, ruined Sector Mechanicus stuff here as well, which is just fantastic. Will I get the data stack stuff? I'm not really too sure. I mean, it's not too dissimilar to a lot of the 40k stuff that you can get as well. But I'm definitely going to get myself a set or 2 of the walls, columns, and ruined shenanigans that you get in that box set. So really, really nice. I'd like to know your thoughts on this one and how you might utilize it. It's always interesting. I can't remember the name of the guy who actually designed and created this terrain, but when you go to his Twitter, or X should I say, he's got loads and loads of ways that you can do clever things and builds with these as well. So I'd be really interested to see what he does with these, what we can learn about the new set coming out to use. The other thing I wanted to talk about today, because I feel like it's been brushed under the carpet a little bit, or it's just gone over people's heads and people haven't really noticed it in the Necromunda community, is an article from the 27th of May. This one is about sentry guns, and they look flipping awesome. If you've seen Aliens, again, very Aliens here, I have to say. If you've seen Aliens Director's Cut, there is a scene with a sentry gun down a corridor, and it is one of the best scenes in the whole film, if you ask me. And these are exactly that. So we've got 2 types of weapon arrays here, what looks to be a twin-linked grenade launcher and a twin-linked heavy stubber, along with an ammo crate and a control module. These are awesome. We've also got some extra sort of special rules here for them as well that I may as well go through with you. But I'm really excited about having these. I've used a lot of the scenarios in the past that use sentries and stuff, and I always wanted proper models of sentry guns like this to use along them. I've always just used proxy miniatures instead, but it'd be really nice to have these in your games, even if you don't use them as the actual official Trazier pattern sentry guns or whatever they're called. But target spotted is the first special rule here. Trazier pattern sentry guns do not gain ready markers and cannot perform actions. Each time a fighter, either friend or foe, by the way, ends their activation within a Trazier pattern sentry gun's vision arc and range, the Trazier pattern sentry gun will perform a shoot basic action targeting the active fighter. Trazier pattern sentry guns may react this way multiple times each round. However, if a friendly fighter is within 1 inch of a Trazier pattern sentry gun's control console, then the Trazier pattern sentry gun will not target the controlling gang's fighters. Enemy fighters are not able to override the targeting in this manner as they do not possess the access codes. Very, very cool indeed. So you've really got to be careful where you put these things in strategic places. And really, you're going to want to have someone nearby 1 inch away to actually man it so that it doesn't shoot your own guys. Getting shot by a twin-linked heavy stubber or even a twin-linked grenade launcher, especially with crack grenades, is disgusting, so you're not going to want that to happen to you. That's the first special rule there. We've also got another one here called deployable platforms. This is how you actually deploy them. Trazier pattern sentry guns are deployed after a gang has finished deploying all of their models and must be placed within 1 inch of a friendly fighter along with a control panel. Once placed, a Trazier pattern sentry gun cannot be moved during a battle, though friendly fighters may perform the retarget basic action, which is as follows. Retarget. A Trazier pattern sentry gun within 1 inch of its fighter may pivot on the spot to face another direction. Really, really cool. It doesn't say pivot by what, I guess just any amount of degrees, but really awesome, and I'm glad we've got something like this officially in the game to add to your gang stashes. We don't know whether this is going to be a plastic kit or a Forge World kit. I've got to say, it looks plastic. I'm hoping it's a plastic kit because it could be used in so many different ways. I'm really hoping it's plastic anyway. What looks to be 2 of each gun, so you've got 2 of the grenade launcher variants and 2 of the heavy stubber variants and 2 of the control consoles, that's more than enough that you'll need. I hope that's the case, that this is a plastic box with all 6 of those miniatures in it. If it's Forge World, it's going to be very expensive and pretty annoying, to be honest, but I think these will be used quite a lot going forward, so I'd like to see this as a plastic kit, as I'm sure all of us would. But yeah, really, really awesome for some aliens energy in your games of Necromunda. That's some of the new stuff that will be coming out really soon. I've got to say, I'm really excited and pleased at the direction that we're going with Necromunda at the moment, post Aranthian Succession. This is far more to my liking than what we had previously. So I think it's a really exciting time for Necromunda, and it'll be interesting to see what's around the corner as well going forward. Anyway, that was it for now. I'll be back with another video real soon. Peace out.